Hi everyone, my name is Armstrong Lazenby. I'm with the Snapshot channel, and today we have an interesting situation where Australians are stranded in India because of the coronavirus in India at the moment, with 400,000 infections per day and 4,000 deaths, up to 4,000 deaths per day in India. So we have Australians, 9,000 Australians that are in India stranded, that cannot come back into Australia because of the India coronavirus situation. Okay, fair enough with that situation, but the fact that they can't come into their own country again is an interesting situation because there aren't any laws and rules in the citizenship and constitution of Australia. So we're going to look at some facts right now about what's going on, because this is a serious situation, and I would like to hear from some people, some Australians that are in India. Is this true? How are they feeling about it too? So firstly, since the 3rd of May, the Australian government enacted the Biosecurity Act, stopping Australian citizens in India from returning home. For those who dared to circumvent the ban and come in from a third country, they face a $66,000 fine and a 5-year jail sentence. The ban will be in place until 15th of May. Many people have expressed outrage at this. One Melbourne man stranded in India since March last year has launched a High Court challenge against the government's decision. This is interesting, and I really hope that a lot of the mainstream media are reporting on this, because this is a serious situation and we do need to have rights regarding this, but this situation hasn't happened much at all. So the question is it legal to ban citizens from returning home into their own country when they are Australian citizens? Well, with citizenship, it's a relationship between a person and their country, where the citizen's job is to be loyal to the nation and the country's job is to protect its citizens. So is the government able to protect the citizens with the right quarantine measures? Are they not confident in their measures that they have with the quarantine system at the moment? That's the question. If they were confident in their quarantine systems, then surely they would bring the Australians back home and then put them in the quarantine, and everything would be fine and we wouldn't have this situation. That seems pretty logical from right now. Now, is there anything else going on behind the scenes? We don't know. Under international law, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 12 of International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights, this is it. No one shall be arbitrarily deprived of the right to enter his own country. In April last year, in response to complaints lodged by 2 Australians stranded in the United States, the United Nations Human Rights Committee asked the Australian government to ensure their prompt return, noting they face irreparable harm. Under our own laws, there is nothing in our constitution that talks about the rights of Australian citizens in relation to re-entering the country. There is actually nothing in the constitution that talks about citizenship. Yes, we have the right to vote and participate in a democratic activity, and the Department of Home Affairs says Australian citizens can apply for an Australian passport and re-enter Australia freely. But here's the catch, right? But there's nothing that talks about the right to return to Australia under the law. This is very different to other countries where they have a Bill of Rights which includes this particular right of a citizen to return to Australia. So technically we don't have any rights in the Constitution for Australians, and apparently there are in other countries, which is quite interesting. So Australia does have the responsibility to look after its citizens, but they should be doing that with proper quarantine measures, and they should be confident in those measures, because they have had some time to figure this out. They've had a year more to figure this out. So quarantine is not a new issue, right? We've had quarantine forever, right? But on this scale, we haven't had quarantine, right? So that surely they would have had the proper system in place to be able to expand upon it and bring back the Australians from India if they wanted to come back. And I'm sure they do, because 400,000 infections per day in India is not a promising situation, and we wouldn't want to be in that situation right now. And so I think one responsible course of action is that the Australian government should be working to strengthen our quarantine measures systems and contact tracing to increase the capacity so that we can bring back stranded people from overseas. So increasing the capacity, but also increasing their confidence in quarantine so that we can bring them back safely. And that will look after the Australians, the Australian government's half of the deal, where they need to look after the citizens, but then also us. We do have rights as well under the Constitution of Australia. But this isn't laid out very clearly in the Constitution. This isn't laid out very clearly under laws and rules, and I think that it should. So, what do you think? What do you guys think? Please let us know in the comments, and also please subscribe. We're producing some good content. Please check out our channel, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.